All right, so Mark, I've had a few of my friends who have run small businesses have sent in a couple of questions for me to ask you.
Okay.
And one, Greg Crellin, who owns All Coast Home Loans, he wants to know how ranking works in a simple explanation and how often you need to change or add something to the website to ensure that the ranking doesn't drop.
Okay.
So I guess you've kind of already covered that.
To some degree, yeah. Keeping in mind that when it comes to rank, Google has an algorithm and it's a secret, all right? And it's changing all the time. So no matter what we know, there's always a chance that there's going to be elements in there that we have absolutely no idea what they are. But we know what the principles are, and it's essentially make sure you've got really good, new, relevant content on an ongoing basis. That can't fail you. And in fact, actually, Google does make that clear. Okay, so that so that's one of the things that causes. If you're losing your ranking, just look at what your competition's doing.
Okay,
Are they doing a better job than you are? Are they being more relevant? Are they actually adding additional information on a more regular basis? You know, did they actually just get a virtual tour shot and a bunch of headshots for the whole team, and and got 25 or 30 more reviews? Well, and if you haven't done the same thing, chances are, no wonder they're outranking you. So that's one of the things I would be saying in terms of helping this business get ranked well. Make sure that you keep that information always up to date, and keep an eye on what your competition's doing. It's just good business.
Just touching there on, say, doing a regular blog or something like that when you're updating your information, things you're doing, things that your business is up to, and all that sort of stuff.
Yes.
What about, my field of video? How, like if you're going to be doing blogs with videos included, how's video going to affect the rankings?
Fabulous thing to use, because, well, for one of the things is that you can also now put short videos on your Google My Business page. A lot of people don't realize that. That's a relatively new thing. You can have up to a 100 megabyte file, and it works out to roughly about 30 seconds or a little bit more than that, depending on how good the resolution is. But if you do that, that's a piece of video that you can put right on your Google My Business page that lands before you even get to the website. The beauty about video and what you do, and what I'm really encouraging a lot of businesses to do, is to get into the habit of doing a little bit of the work themselves. For the commercial quality stuff they need, obviously get someone like yourself to come in and do a really good high-end quality job, because that's your brand. But it's also good to have little bits of authentic, selfie type video work too, because that actually gives a bit of that truthfulness to a business, and to throw a little of that in there. One of the things you can do with video, which is really cool if you've got a blog, and I do recommend everyone have a blog on their website, is once you publish it on YouTube, which is the most common place for people to publish their videos on their website, through their website, is you can go into the closed caption settings, right? Where you can see where all the words pop up for those people that are actually reading it as opposed to listening to it. It's particularly good if you're watching a video at the office when,
that's right.
People do that, let's face it.
Especially with some types of videos, you don't really want them being,
exactly.
What do they call that? Not for work or something. Well, I can't
yeah.
remember what that was. But they've got a little...
There's a term for it.
Yeah, there's a term. Not suitable for work or
exactly.
something like that. Yeah.
So for those kinds of videos, having the closed captions come up becomes pretty useful. But there's another use to the closed captions. If you're struggling to write a blog, if you've already got a video, you've got the content to create a blog. Because all you need to do is grab the closed captions, go into the closed captions editing tool. You have to go find it. It's not really easy to find, but it's there. Copy that, paste it into a Word document or a Word editor of some type, massage that a wee bit so that it actually is more consistent with the flow for reading as opposed to the flow of what's actually in the video. And then you might find that there's a lot of keywords you can even hyperlink back and turn into a proper blog entry. So suddenly you've got a blog. And it's a very useful one, especially if you've got mentions in it that refer back to other pages on your website, or maybe a supplier's page, or an event that has an Eventbrite listing or something like that. All those things are ways to give your blog a lot more SEO content. Yeah,
it's interesting. So video is, we know it's a very powerful tool, but it's good to hear from someone who's not a videographer or not a producer that says, yes, it is. You need to have video.
Yeah, you're touching on also the other thing to remember. I'm speaking to the converted with you, but good audio. Like you've got a microphone on me. We've got other audio. This is really important. A good video starts with good audio.
That's right. Yeah, a lot of people don't get that, and that's where you see a lot of the videos that have been shot on a phone. They'd be fine if the video was okay. If the audio was okay. They'd be great videos. But
exactly.
That's the thing that lets them down is wind blowing and you can't understand what they're saying.
That's it. I actually encourage people to spend a few dollars and go and buy an external microphone for their mobile phone to have that little bit of extra audio. It's not a big expense. You know, you can get one for like I think it's $80 for the little Rode microphone. I own a couple of them, and they're great. You know, they come with one of those wind socks. You know, what people refer to as a dead cat.
Yeah.
Which I hate that term, but it's like, why would you call it that? I don't know. But I think of it more like a raccoon tail, really. But then again, that goes to show I'm Canadian, right?
Yeah,
it's more raccoons.
I wasn't going to mention that you were Canadian.
No, yeah, the accent gave it away.
You let the cat out of the cat out of the bag.
Did, exactly. So, but yeah, having that as a windsock, especially if you're going to do an outdoor video and you're let's say you're at Terrigal Beach and the wind just picked up, you're at the Skillion. Well, yeah, you want to have that on there, and it'll make a big difference in the quality of the sound.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, it is important. Okay, so the next question's from Justine Carney, who's a local road and fields consultant, and she'd love some tips on best practices for MLMs. She says that there's so many out there, many giving the whole business model a bad name by not treating it like a proper business or being way too pushy. Is there anything that someone like herself in that kind of business, is there anything that she could do to improve that situation?
Yeah, absolutely. Here's a really simple one. Look like a regular business. Have a Google My Business page, and you can actually have a Google My Business page even if you're not location-based, by the way. Okay. So for her, I would be saying definitely get yourself a Google My Business page, and what you fall under is what's called a go-to business, where you go to your client. And there's settings inside the Google My Business page that allow you to remove your address or hide your address, so that if you actually service an area, like for example, the Hunter Valley, or all of Australia, whatever the case might be, you can specify a regional reach by which you service. And by doing that, and by showing the same kind of content, photos of yourself, photos of your brand, photos of the products, short videos, making sure that if you do actually have hours of operation, put them in there. If you look like a legitimate business, you operate like a legitimate business, you'll be probably perceived far more like one too. So that can actually be a big advantage. And I'll bet you there's not a lot of MLM operators out there who think of Google My Business as a place to publish and market themselves. So it would be actually at least early stages, giving new information possibly for that industry, but I would say definitely do that. The elephant in the room is always Google, all right? We always think of Facebook first, and it's fine and it's great. And I use Facebook. A lot of us do. It's a great platform in many respects, and even has certain key advantages on top of what Google does. I'm not a Facebook specialist by any means, so I can't really talk to that. But what I can say is that Facebook is basically almost like a referral environment, where your first point of reach is going to be contacts who know you, who are able to put you in touch with other people that they know. Whereas Google is for brand new business. And that's really what it's for. And I think it's a good idea for an MLM to do that.
Great, that's a great answer. Sure, that will be helpful. Now, another friend of mine who is a very successful writer, and she's recently opened up a business at Green Point. It's called Sister Joe Bangles. And she does some incredible stuff. Have a look at the website because and her Instagram feed is just absolutely amazing. So she's got
the name.
She does. She started off doing knitting and stitching at home and making all these beautiful pieces of clothing and jewellery and so forth. Now she's opened up her own shop at Green Point, and it's actually going great guns. And she's I met with her earlier this week, and she's going to do really well. She's just that type of person. But one of the things that she asked was, is it enough just to have a unique business name to get on top of the search pages? Unless people know that name, they obviously won't find her. So what else can she do in the back end of her website or social media, for example? So that's she's got a great product. It will go great guns, no doubt about it. But what more can she do?
Going back to the content creation side of it, lots of photos, lots of video, and words that attach back to it. I would be highly recommending that. If I'm hoping that she's using a website platform that's easy to work with as far as that goes. There's a lot of website building tools available today, such as WordPress and Squarespace and Wix and Weebly, and there's all kinds of other ones, but there's very few of them that you can own the content on, and WordPress is really the one you can own. And the advantage of that is if at any point in time she finds herself creating content, very happy with what she's doing, but then she wants to plug some tools into it to make it like a shopping cart tool or online commerce or anything else that's particularly special. As soon as you start to use these external third-party type platforms that are non-WordPress, you may be limiting yourself in terms of what you can build into it. They own the platform, and if you're very rarely going to find a lot of web developers who are true web developers who will be willing to work with you and help you grow your business with online content if it's not a WordPress site. Okay, so that's one of the first things I would be saying is make sure that she's on WordPress. If she's done a lot of blogging, she's probably already familiar with that. I would suspect.
So
she probably is already using it.
Very good at that.
Yeah, so that's excellent, and that would be the first point of call. As far as trying to promote that kind of a business, yeah, the branding is not enough. You know, it's actually consistent content.
Sure.
Making sure that she's got some kind of a workflow. It's a friend of mine by the name of John Bellamy, and he's a LinkedIn specialist actually.
Okay, yeah.
And he actually provides a tool which is a fabulous grid. What it does is it gives you a 13-week program for you to fill out yourself so that you actually know what you're going to create in content on a weekly basis for each quarter of the year. Okay, so that's actually a nice. If you can build yourself some kind of a grid or a template or a spreadsheet, where you basically say, all right, every week I'm going to create a piece of content, and you rotate the subject matters, but keep consistent with those subject matters, or you're revolving them. So in other words, for example, let's say she's talking about it could be on different types of fabrics. All right, she's going fabric 1, fabric 2, fabric 3, and you can rotate through and go back and then second stage where you're mixing fabrics, and then she's mixing, and so you can develop a strategy for over time for people to want to follow you because they want to see where you're going next with that subject matter.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I guess what I'm saying here is don't give away your whole story in one shot.
Okay.
All right, create enough content to make it interesting and valuable, but give them a reason to come back, because if they've got a reason to come back and hear the next part of the story, you'll get a bigger following, and they're more likely to even share it with other friends and followers. So
Great.
That would be my thoughts there.
Well, she's certainly got a unique look and feel about everything that goes up on Instagram, and she was saying to me when we met this week about how she gets such a fantastic response from her Instagram posts.
Good.
It's got that consistent look about it.
Yeah.
She was saying that it creates a feeling amongst the ladies, especially that will view it.
Sure.
It creates that they kind of know what the shop's going to be like before they even get there.
Yeah,
because she's already created this atmosphere.
That's
with
right.
the post, so she's very, very good at that.
Yeah.
She's got that down,
Cool.
So she won't have any problems there with
Awesome.
that. Yeah.
Excellent. That's great. So she's already got that structure, making sure that there's lots of tagging. Okay, alt tags behind photos, especially in her situation. Make sure you don't just put up a photo name with IMG whatever. Okay, optimizing photos in her space for her website will be very important. Making sure that she changes the name of the photo so that it's relevant for search. That suits, okay?
Okay, yeah.
And then also taking a similar name, or it could be the same name as the photo name, but it can be other words to add to the alt tag. If you're looking inside of the publishing portion of most websites, you can put these tags at the back. And what they do is they help inform the internet, the searching engines, the crawling engines, what actually is inside that photo if for any reason that photo doesn't show up.
Right, yeah.
Okay. The other thing is obviously links. You want to make sure you've got links back to different sites. For example, if she actually uses a regular set of suppliers, give them a plug. Put that, you get your products from so-and-so supplier, and ask for them to give you a plug too, because you might be able to get your posts or your blog republished on their platform, or at least mentioned on their platform. Because a lot of people, you got to remember, a lot of other people are having the same problem you are trying to create content as a business. Yeah. So get them to use your content. It's an easy way to do it.
Okay, great. Well, I think she'll be happy with that answer, I'm absolutely sure.